Hey guys, we're back with the next episode of our Sryth Fantasy Text-Based RPG. Last time, we were doing stuff in regards to the item of Palk. I guess he's a great warrior spirit or something. And he has this realm that he created, but he abandoned it. And now he wants us to go save it and the people there. So, that's probably what we're going to do next, because why wouldn't we continue on with that? Thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Let's just go. And at least they've added this right to the main stuff, and I don't have to go search for them anymore. But Lothrin, who is the last disciple of this spirit, says go back and visit, and we'll be transported to this realm. So, the moment your hands touch the ancient stone, your surroundings begin to swirl and grow dim. A bright flash of white light momentarily blinds you, and an instant later you're weightless, floating in no discernible direction through the vast emptiness, flecked with the faint glow of thousands of tiny specks of green light. So as soon as the sensation has begun, it is over. You find yourself once again on your own 2 feet in a landscape quite different than the one in which you departed only moments ago. You're standing in the northwest corner of the Thanorian town of Shadowedge, in the netheral realm of Kielthanor. A large statue identical to one in the forest outside of Talina stands to your right. You know that touching the statue will transport you back to the world of Sryth. Suddenly, a voice of a young woman rings out from behind you. You turn around and see a young woman moving towards you. The woman is wearing a chain tunic, and across her shoulders slung a heavy spiked club. "We've awaited your coming for quite some time," she says as she draws near. The young Thanorian woman bows gracefully as she draws up to you and introduces herself as Memaro. Like all Thanorians, her jet black eyes have no pupils, and her skin is a shade of deep grey. "You're eagerly awaited in the meeting house," says Memaro. "Our leader Sin Kryn Takum wishes to speak to you at once. Your arrival is certainly an answer to our prayers, for I cannot imagine a more timely appearance with all that has happened of late." Memaro studies you closely, and what appears to be a look of disappointment passes briefly over your face. "You must forgive me for saying this, for I mean no ill by it," she says, "but I somehow expected that our departed master's new disciple would be somehow different." "And different how? Than that old man? Because I am different from him. No matter, then, follow me." Memaro leads you to the meeting house in the center of Shadowedge, where you are met by a tall, grey-haired, broad-shouldered leader of the Thanorians, a man by the name of Kryn Takum. You have little doubt as you first set eyes on this man that he's a warrior of great strength and ability. You introduce yourself to him and he bows deeply, revealing a double-bladed axe strapped to his back. "You have come to us in our hour of need, Alison," he says grimly. "We have been struck by grave misfortune of late, and indeed we pray that the great warrior spirit, who again send us his chosen disciple, a worthy champion that would turn back the vile tide that threatens to consume us. It would appear that our prayers have not gone unanswered." You speak at length with Kryn, and you are impressed not only by his resolve, but the bravery and resilience of the Thanarian people that he leads. Ever beset by the tide of evil that seeks to destroy them, the Thanorians, I'm gonna get it one day, have pledged themselves to survival against seemingly overwhelming odds. Kryn tells you that Shadowedge is protected not only by its vigilant and well-trained citizenry, but also by 3 ancient standing stones at its perimeter at the edge of the forest. The standing stones are magical, he explains. Each was long ago fitted with powerful enchanted jewel that wards off enemies, preventing them from nearing our town. Kryn tells you that a week ago, a militia patrol passing over near one of the standing stones came upon a disturbing scene. They witnessed a tall robed skeleton working some sort of magic on the jewel that powers the stone. He says before they could interfere, the foul creature removed the jewel and fled into the forest. How dare he? None of the militia followed that being a short ways into the wood, where they witnessed it entering a dark cave. The entire incident has unnerved us all, said Kryn, for the magic that binds the jewel to the standing stone is unchained and powerful. That which can break such magic must in its own right be of great potency. We fear that the theft of the jewel could portend an imminent invasion. Without the protection of all 3 standing stones, our defenses are indeed humbled. Kryn tells you that following the theft of the jewel, the Thanorians made a desperate plea in the form of a unified prayer to Palk. We asked that he might send us again his chosen disciple. Sans the leader of the Thanorians, it would appear that our prayer has been answered. There are many in Shadowedge who have long felt that the great warrior spirit has forsaken us, forsaken us entirely. I hope that your presence will convince them otherwise. Not enough to not pray unification, though. There's little time, cautions Kryn. You must enter the cave in the forest and seek out the creature that stole the jewel. Only with a safe return of the jewel can we hope to adequately defend our home. Until the jewel is back in its proper place, we remain vulnerable to attack and infiltration. I pray we will achieve a swift victory. Shadowedge, the realm of Keothanor, is a town engaged in a daily battle for survival against the unrelenting tide of vile, treacherous enemies that pass its borders. The high wall surrounds the town, and a watchtower next to the main gates offers a wide view of the dangerous lands that border the last standing Thanorian refuge. A collection of grey stone buildings make up the interior of the town, whose streets lie empty save for the frequent patrols of well-armed and highly trained citizenry. No sun shines across Keothanor, but a thin greyish light seeps through the perpetual ceiling of clouds, illuminating the once glorious realm of Palk. Alright, so what I'm going to do is save. And then let's hit it. It is a relatively short trek to your destination in the forest outside Shadowedge. Within an hour you find yourself standing on the outcrop of weathered stone, staring down at the dark, foreboding mouth of the cave. You hope that somewhere in the inky darkness of that place you'll find a missing jewel so desperately needed by the Thanorians. Let's go. Well, we're in a new cave. The thin grey light of Keothanor filters into the cave from the mouth. Oh my gosh, my arm is killing. To the west, the passage leads into the darkness to the east. Alright, let's go north first. Check out what these are. A bright red flash suddenly illuminates the dark passage, and you gasp in horror as you behold a crackling bolt of crimson flame hurtling in the darkness towards you. You only seconds to react, for the bolt will strike square in your chest. Fortification! Magical barrier of shimmering gold sparkles takes form in front of you. Only scant seconds before the flaming bolt arrives, the crimson missile smashes into your hastily erected shield and dissipates to a shower of glowing embers. You peer ahead into the darkness, half expecting that another bolt will follow, but your eyes come to rest on something odd in the shadows not far along the passage. Seated in the ground about 10 yards along the passage is a large orb of crystal. The strange object pulses with a faintish reddish hue and emits a low, barely discernible hum, and as you stand staring down at the odd object, you note that with some apprehension the reddish hue is slowly growing brighter. You might have little doubt this is the source of the flaming bolt that is preparing to discharge another. Destroy. Quick combat. Final blow shatters the crystal orb, sending the cloud of razor-sharp fragments into the air. You shield your face as the crystal shards rain down the cave passage all around you. The crystal orb is no more. Alright. Well, you want to know it's this way. You freeze in your tracks as your light source illuminates the massive bulk of a hooked fiend stomping at the shadow towards you. The massive Neverall denizen raises its powerful hook-tipped arms and prepares to bring them down upon you. Hooked fiend. This hulking, grotesque, two-legged horror is a denizen of the Neverness. Patches of wiry grey and brown fur cover its thick hide, and its powerful muscular arms are fitted with enormous bone hooks instead of hands. Like many of the wicked creatures that spring from the depths of the Neverness, the hooked fiend knows no fear and shows no mercy. Quick combat. Dead. The hooked fiend crashes to the ground, its thick greenish blood oozing from the deep wounds you inflicted on it. This horrid Neverall abomination will never again terrorize under the soul. Suddenly, somewhere off in the far distance, a faint but unnerving ghoulish laugh raises into the darkness. Okay. That's where we came from, so let's see what this is. Cackling erupts from the darkness as you proceed along the passage, and your progress is halted as half a dozen hideous knee-high horned creatures slink in out of the shadows to surround you. The largest of these grotesque, proper-hued humanoid slobbers an unintelligible command, and the other 5 creatures set themselves upon you without mercy. Quick combat. We're just gonna keep fighting one at a time. Oh no. That was the leader or something. Alright, yeah, strange sounds echo in the distance, and now and again you feel that something is following you along the shadow cave passage. You get to complete your mission and leave this foul place once for all. A crudely etched symbol of Palk adorns the wall here. and it is mockingly disfigured. Not cool. What's here? Another hook fiend. Alright, death to the heathen. Alright, what's here? Advancing along the cave passage towards you is a pair of flaming swordsmen. Bright blue and green flames cover their bodies and leap from the blades of their long swords. The swordsmen hold aloft their weapons, and the sounds of hundreds of voices shrieking in terror fills the passage. You steel yourself for a brutal encounter as the fearsome beings approach. 2 bladesmen dead. Okay, what's this way? Another hook fiend. Someone is still laughing every time I fight a hook fiend. What's that about? Right, south. Another hook fiend. Hit it, hit it. Alright, someone's still laughing. Keep going. Ghastly cackling precedes the arrival of several small, grotesque humanoid creatures who emerge from the shadows on your right, glaring at you menacingly. A single horn protrudes from the head of each of the purple-skinned horrors. The 7-horned creepers stalk along the passage toward you, small feet making no sound as they lightly strike the cave floor. Quick combat. There's little time to dwell on your victory, for no sooner as the last of the horned creepers have dispatched, a sound from behind you causes you to spin around. In the gloom of the cave passage, your eyes behold a new danger steadily approaching. Advancing along the cave passage towards you is a flaming swordsman. Bright blue and green flame covered their entire form and leap from the blaze of his drawn longsword. The swordsman opens his mouth as if to speak, and the dins of 100 sweet voices suddenly fill its passage. Still you suffer the brutal encounter as the fearsome being approaches. Take a few moments to catch your breath, following your victory before once again setting off in a shadowy cave. We're coming to the end here. A cloaked skeletal figure, its fleshless head covered by a tall hood, steps into the passage before you and hisses menacingly. The creature's hands begin to glow bright blue, and you fear that it is preparing to wield some sort of foul magic. Oh, Master Zarolg bids you welcome. Hisses the being. He longs for a chance to feast on the flesh of a disciple of Palk. The warrior creature throws its hands forward as tines of blue lightning begin to crackle around its finger. Quick combat. You take a few moments to catch your breath, following your victory before once again setting off. And then, what's going on here? We gotta go down. On the far side of the room, a dark opening leads down into the shadow. Oh, there's another floor. Alright, left first, always left first. 3 burning bladesmen. Hey, rejuvenation. Zarolg the Vanquisher awaits you. This is the hooded skeleton. It steps into a view less than 10 yards from where you stand. The good master waits the foolish morsel of the dead tread here under the banner of Palk. Okay. I'll say hi when I see him. North. Let's hear it. A lone skeleton, its fleshless head conceals a shadow cast by oversized black hood suddenly appears in the passage before you. Zarolg shall grind your bones into dust, human, hisses the skeleton. As blue sparks begin to swirl about its bony fingers, no disciple of Palk shall tread in the masses there without inviting his wrath. Okay. The bound sorcerer crumbles to the ground at your feet. Suddenly a ghost-like form rises from the shattered remains of the skeleton. You watch in horror as the wavering image of a large armored skeleton appears in the passage before you. The skeleton hisses viciously and draws a blood-stained longsword from its side, leveling the blade at you menacingly. You edge nearer yet to painful certain death, human. The image shrieks, I wait you in the shadows. The image rapidly fades, and you once again find yourself alone in the dark. What's happening here? Four burning bladesmen. It's fine. The air is cold in this level of the cave. You can't help but shiver as you proceed with great caution. Yeah. You progress along the cave passages, halted with a large blob of yellow ooze rise into view ahead. undulating mass of fetid muck, and it's a foul odor that causes your eyes to water. Gross. Kill it. Final blow. Splashes of foul ooze into the walls, floor, and ceiling of the cave passage. You watch as the last remnants of the preacher slime quiver and then slowly dissolve into the stone, leaving behind no trace of their existence. That yellow ooze is odd, isn't it? Bright blue and green flames leap from the body and a sword. Oh, it's just a burning blade master. One when I've been doing like 5, so we're almost there. Okay, more steps down. A set of rough-hewn stone steps descend into the darkness here. The sound of dripping water echoes eerily off in the distance. How many floors does this place have? Can we talk about that? Alright, I'm gonna go straight first. 6-horned creepers. Loud cackling erupts from all sides. You steel yourself for combat as 6-horned creepers leap from the shadows. What is a horned creeper? Small humanoid abominations reside in the depths of Neverness and are known to haunt countless Neverall realms. Their thick, warty skin is deep purplish hue, and a small horn protruding from the middle of their skulls, coupled with the ability to move with barely making a sound, has given rise to their name. Okay, so they're creepers. Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those peepers? A massive chest constructed out of skull and bone of some horrific beast sits against the wall in its alcove. The keyhole is plainly visible between the glaring eye sockets of the skull, and the chest is locked, and most certainly that must be protected by some sort of magic. I'll look for the item before I try to use destruction and all that. Bone sorcerer, fine. I was gonna go south first, but where are you? North, so we're going north. Some horned creepers. Stone slayer. Yeah, alright. You arrive at the dead end of the cave passage and just to find a wounded Thorniarian man slumped against the wall. He looks up as you approach and smiles weakly. His feet and hands are bound tightly with thick rope. You quickly untie him, he staggers to his feet and then bows deeply before you. I'd begun to give up hope, he says. I never dreamed that I would be rescued by a disciple of the great warrior spirits. You're a most welcome sight. The man tells you that his name is Gilbrin, and that he was captured by the foul denizens of the lair almost a week ago, and he is the 5 other patrol the borders of Shadowedge. The others were killed, he says. I'm certain that Kryn and the others have given us all up for dead. I've given myself up for dead, but when I heard the sound of my captors being slain, I knew that the great warrior spirit had not abandoned me. The rest here at the end of the cave passage was some time with Gilbrin while he recovers his strength. At last Gilbrin tells you they feel strong enough to continue, and you instruct him to leave the cave and return to Shadowedge at once. He nods in agreement and lights a lamp that he draws out of a pack out of a pack slung over his shoulder. There's a powerful wickedness in this place, warns Gilbrin as he departs, and I fear that you are very near it now. You must take care, disciple. Watch as Gilbrin departs, following the light of his lamp until he is at last swallowed up by the gloom. Oh, yay, we saved somebody. That means we gotta go south. Yes, more bone sorcerers, gotcha. This way now. There's more ooze. The sound of heavy footfalls reaches your ears as you stand at the ready, waiting. An unexpected and massive grey shape lumbers out of the shadows. Stomping along the passage towards you is a large being of solid stone, twice the size of the largest human. The powerful creature wields a massive stone club that it uses to strike the wall as it advances. Taking a few moments to catch your breath following your victory before once again setting off through the shadowy cave. And we're here. The passage you're following opens into a broad stone chamber with high ceilings. Your heart skips a beat as your eyes fall upon a terrifying being standing on the far side of the room. The tall-robed being strides to the center of the chamber, flanked on either side by hulking stone slayers, and as he draws into your circle of light, you get your first clear glimpse of Zalrag the Vanquisher. Zarog, a powerful undead being that has roamed the shadowy vastness of the Neverness for ages uncounted. Zarog inspires fear to those who oppose him and those who commanded to do his bidding. Zarog can assume several forms, although it's most commonly claimed to take one appearance of a tall robed skeletal figure. Many Neverall realms, and perhaps several realms and the worlds outside the Neverness, have known the cruel malice of this powerful undead lord, and has been laid to waste beneath the feet of his dark forces. Fight! Zarog strides to the center of the chamber, his long robes flowing behind him like the wings of some giant birds of prey. He raises his head. Oh my gosh! And peers directly at you, his fleshless face and glowing blue eye sockets plainly visible beneath the heavy hood that shadows his head. 100 realms have known the pain I wield, hisses Zarog. This realm has fallen. All that remains is to be vanquished in this walking vermin of Palk, whose folly stands before me. Are you of such insolent disciple that you do not know when you face your own doom? Zarog waves his hand, and 2 walking stone slayers lumber forward, preparing to crush you as a silently bidden by their powerful master. The 2 stone slayers lie moving at your feet. You step over their remnants and step threateningly toward the towering figure of Zarog. Zarog hisses loudly and waves his hand as you approach. A swirling blue portal appears in front of him, and 2 receptive minions of the undead lord bent on the destruction of their master's foe. Don't seem like they can get a hit on me, Zarog. Laughs and draws. This guy loves to laugh. From beneath his robe, a black-bladed longsword, which he levels at you menacingly. You will now know the pain of 1,000 deaths, warmer Palk. He hisses. You still yourself for the brutal melee of the towering Zarog the Vanquisher approaches. Or he dies. Zarog's longsword slips from the grip and clutches the floor of the cave. The towering robe figure staggers back with several steps and suddenly crumbles into a pile of bones. The terror of 1,000 worlds is no more. You quickly search the remains and discover the following. Take. Your heart leaps when beneath the fold of Zarog's robes you discover the missing standing stone jewel. You quickly snatch the weighty gemstone and place it securely among your possessions. With Zarog defeated and the missing standing stone jewel not safely in possession, you realize at once you must return to Shadowedge. And I gotta see what's in that chest, which is this way. Okay, I got a key. What was the name of the key? Wow, I should really remember stuff. Key. What's it? Iron key? I don't think that's it. Key. Iron key? I don't think that's it. Blackbone key, I think. Blackbone key fits perfectly into the key holder, and barely a turn of the lid of the chest springs open. Lean forward and peer inside. Gosh. Much to your surprise, the interior of the massive chest is empty, save for a small black bone ring. The ring is carved into the likeness of a fearsome serpent. You probably take possession of the ring. Okay. Well, we'll see. Up the stairs. Up the stairs. To the tunnel. We could let her do it. Move right out of my life. You better move, step into my heart. I said move. My heart, I can the body. Emerge from the cave into a perpetual dim greyish light that seeps through the eternal ceiling of heavy clouds over the realm of Kiel Thanor. Elated by the knowledge your mission has been a success, you set off to Shadowedge at once. Your triumphant return to Shadowedge is met with the accolades of the grateful Thanorians. In the eyes of these brave but beleaguered inhabitants of Kiel Thanor, you're truly a worthy disciple of the great warrior spirit. Kryn Takam congratulates you and orders that the standing stone jewel you covered be immediately restored to its proper place. Keskern, the only mage among all the Thanorians, take the jewel from you and leaves within the heavily armoured contingent to carry out the final leg of the mission. With the standing stone jewel back in its rightful place, the town of Shadowedge is once again better protected from the evil that continually presses its borders. Kryn thanks you again for retrieving the jewel and asks that you pay a visit to Yulia the weaponsmith. Yulia has a matter that she wishes to urgently discuss with you, he says. If you'll stop back here later, I may have a task worthy of your amazing abilities. You bid Kryn a farewell and set off into the street of the Shadowedge. Alright. Let's see what the weaponsmith wants, yeah? Yulia looks up from her works and smiles at you and says, Your arrival in our realm has been not a moment too soon, Allison, she says, her voice laden with worry. Recapturing the standing stone jewel is no small feat, but you must again call upon your skill and bravery. Our very survival depends upon it. Yulia explains that this morning the early scout patrol returned with an excursion to the edge of the woods outside the protected border of Shadowedge. with strange tidings. They discovered the entrance to a cave not far into the forest, and outside of it they found a metal helmet and mace that formerly wielded by Bandir, the town's armorsmith. Bandir went missing from the forge where he lived and worked just last night. She explains. As an armorsmith, his skills are unmatched. We rely on his talents to outfit a citizen army with as protection as they need. His forge sits on the edge of the dark wood that borders Shadowedge, just inside the protective boundary of the standing stones. Ilya produces a dented metal helmet and a mace and laid the items on the table in front of her. This belongs to Bandir, Dreer, she says solemnly. There is no doubt, it believed that whatever fate befell him, the answer must lie in the cave outside which those items were discovered. It is imperative that should he live, he be rescued and returned to him. Bandria is a dear friend to us all, and without his armor crafting skill, it does not bode well for our defenses. Yulia explains to you the location of the cave outside which Bandria's helmet and mace were discovered. In a voice you can detect a sense of grave urgency. I have faith that whatever Bandria's fate proves to be, his best hope of survival lies with you, Allison, she says. You tell her that you will do your best to see that Bandria, if he yet lives, is returned safely. Yulia wishes you luck as you leave her smithy. Alright, will it take 4 minutes? Let's see. Not far behind the border of Shadowedge, just inside the forest, you reach the cave outside of which Bandria's things were discovered. You stare into the inky blackness of the cave mouth, wondering if somewhere in the depths of the dark cave you will discover the fate of the armorsmith. Ooh, it's a big cave. Okay. Tusrog. You suddenly halt and steal yourself in the battle of something that looms at the shadows on the edge of your light. I don't know what a Tusrog is. Thankful to have survived such a brutal encounter, you check over your equipment and prepare once again, set off through the cave. Guess we're going. Okay, what's a Tusrog? The hideous Tusrog is an abomination in the depths of Neverness and can be found across a myriad of Neverall realms. Tusrog is a humanoid amphibious creature with the torso, head, and limbs of a large frog. Okay. From either side of the Tusrog's mouth protrudes a massive tusk, which give them not only a fearsome piercing but also a deadly goring weapon. Perhaps the Tusrog's most feared weapon is the barbed tongue, which can shoot from its mouth to a distance nearing 10 feet. The Tusrog uses its tongue as an effective weapon during combat. They commonly employ spears and staves as weapons. Generally speaking, this creature stands 5 feet high at the shoulder and have slight bills. They are able to climb all manner of surfaces with ease and can cling to and move across walls and ceilings without difficulty. The Tusrog are silent creatures. They communicate with each other telepathically. They are cunning and warlike and do not tolerate the presence of other sentient species. There have been numerous sightings of these foul creatures slinging around the world of Sryth, but as yet they have not been substantiated. Frog people. Sure, give it to me. Alright, we're going all the way south. Let's see what's in here. Nothing. Every step echoes ominously as you move through the twisting subterranean labyrinth. There are signs of recent struggle here. Small patches of dry blood adorn the walls, and a broken half of an axe lies on the floor. Oh no! Hello. The cave passage continues east and west from here, but to the north your eyes are drawn to a massive stone door. The door has no handle, obviously no means of opening, but directly in the center you note a small keyhole. I'll try lockpick. Failure. Okay, telekinesis. Using the power of your mind, you manage to manipulate the door's rather complex locking mechanism. A soft click signals your success, and you step back as a massive stone door shutters and then slides into the eastern wall, revealing a wide passage it formerly blocked. Oh. Don't say. Alright, that's it. Nah, you keep your common weapon. Alright, let's go this way. You pause for several moments following your victory, listening intently for any sign that might indicate the approach of further Tusrogs. When you're certain there is no more imminent danger, you once again prepare off on your way. Pew, 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 pew. Yep, sickling gurgle. Gross. Next. More Tusrogs. Keep your club. I don't need your club. South. Passage you're following ends abruptly at a half-rotten, thick-timbered door. You can hear the sounds of a faint moan, coupled with ragged, gasping breaths coming from the other side. The door is outfitted with only a simple iron latch and does not appear to be locked. You sense there are two beings behind the door. One of them, you feel, is badly injured and close to death, while the other is aware of your arrival and is ready to ambush you once you open the door. Formed by your power of divination, you situate yourself in the most advantageous point you can forcefully throw over the door, revealing a tall Tusrog standing just on the other side. His stone-tipped spear poised to run you through. The foul creature's face devoid of motion, steps into the pass and moves forward to attack. The Tusrog emits a ghastly croaking sound and collapses to the floor of the cave, its thick blood oozing out of its open wounds. You step over the corpse of your fallen foe and cautiously into the small chamber. Slumped against the left wall of the small chamber is a broad-shouldered Thenorian male, his face and upper torso bear many cuts and scrapes, and his eyes are nearly swollen shut. He raises his head warily as you enter, and a faint smile momentarily effaces the anguish that dominates his demeanor. "You are welcome sight, disciple," he says, his voice wavering. "I have little strength left, but that which remains at my disposal I will gladly employ in the flight from this forsaken hole. Elated that you've discovered Bandria alive, you move over to examine his room and prepare him for a trek out of the cave. As you approach the Amsmith, his eyes wide and he motions over his shoulder with his finger. Turn around and face the most unwelcome sight. The sinister silhouettes of four Tusrogs stand just inside the doorway behind you. They've crept up from behind and you're now cornered in a small chamber. You tell Bandria to remain where he is as you square off against the four sword-wielding creatures. The larger of the creature steps forward at you, surprised to know that his eyes are silver, unlike the pure black orbs that protrude the oversized eye sockets of his kin. Silver-eyed Tusrog strides forward, brandishing a... Okay, his tongue... Take care with that one. His tongue drips with venom. Alright, let's try gating. Swollen black portal opens to your right. You immediately step into it, dragging the injured Bandria through it behind you. Tusrog leap forward, but the gate closes before they can reach it. Seconds later, the gate reopens. You step out, sporting the wounded armor smith on your shoulder. You later discover that you're standing at the entrance of the cave. Feeling that victory is at last within your reach, and hoping not to have to confront any further Tusrogs, you stagger out of the cave, bearing the weight of Bandria and the pale light of the forest. You met with the heroes welcome upon your return to Shadowgate, and Bandria is carried off at once, so his wounds may be tended to. With Bandria returned to us, the future seems less bleak indeed, says Kryn Takum as you speak with him in the meeting house. The Thanarian leader congratulates you on the success of your mission, but tells you that he's afraid that your work as a disciple of Palk in this realm is far from complete. There is much to be done, says Kryn, and while I work out the details of another mission that will require your undertaking, it'd be good if you pay a visit to Memoro in the Watchtower. She and the scouts have no doubt value the assistance of a master disciple. You bid Kryn a farewell and step out in the meeting house. Well, there you have it. Looks like this is going to go on for some few more episodes, or maybe just one more, I don't know. But until then, thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. You know what I'm going to say. Peace.